Hello, welcome to my channel once again. And if this is the first time you are joining, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Today, I'm going to be taking us through, the numbers. I've received a number of questions, from some of my people, my followers, as to what are the possibilities of them getting admission into Canadian University and at the end of the day, getting their study permit. So I'm going to walk us through the numbers from 2023 down to 2026. And we are going to see how the number of international students has totally gone down the drain, how it has actually reduced from what it used to be to what it is today. So follow me as I walk you through and drop your decent comments below as we go through this video together. Thank you. You think Canada's international students boom is still unstoppable? Is that what you think? What if I told you that enrollment hit a record high, then it started dropping very sharply? Started dropping sharply. In this video, I'm going to break down what actually happened from 2023 down to where we are today. Then I'm going to explain why this matters. It is not because the Canadian government doesn't want you. It is not because they don't want, immigrants in their country. But it is actually for a number of reasons, and those are some of the things I'm going to, talk about in this video as I walk you through the numbers, the figures, the statistics, and all that. And also, it is likely I'm going to touch on what you can do in order to be able to ensure that you get your plans right. Let's go. So now in 2023, Canada hit a massive milestone. A massive milestone. That was in 2023. They admitted about 1,040,000 international students into the country. That is nearly 29% increase from what it used to be in 2022. Just imagine a big 29% increase. Now, that was, a big record, a record high, and it's made the headline globally because Canada is one of the countries that welcome international students. Is one of those countries that, people, go to for education, for study abroad, and because of the quality of education that the country has, this news made the headline globally. And in 1 year, many things have changed. A lot of things have happened, and that is what I'm going to be talking about. So let's rewind. Let's go back a bit. In 2023, uh, Canada welcomed more than 1 million international students. And these students have actually contributed a lot into the economy, driving vibrant campus life, cultural exchange, impacting the economy of the country in a number of ways through the payment of their tuition, house rent, base payment, and a lot of other, economic impacts that they have actually been able to make. But soaring got created, when you experience soaring, it creates a lot of pressure. Pressure in terms of, pressure on the existing housing facilities, pressure on the healthcare system, and pressure on a lot of public facilities or local services. So that is actually one of the reasons why uh, the Canadian government is trying as much as possible to to look at what is the sustainable way of ensuring that anybody who comes to Canada is able to live in Canada, is able to have access to a number of resources that they have, and they are able to cater for the need of everyone, not only the citizen but also the temporary residents, such as the international students. Now, in 2024, the federal government introduced what we call that national cap on study permit application. That means they welcome fewer permits into the country. That is, a little amount of people, a little number of people were welcomed into the country, and that is a big shift from the rapid growth we experienced in 2023. From 2024, it kept going down little by little. As a result of this cap that I mentioned earlier, new permits dropped drastically to about 292,000. This roughly, means 41% fewer than in 2023. Now, the total active number of international students dipped slightly to about 997,820. Now, when you look at all these figures, you'll be like, okay, what are the factors that necessitated this? What caused this shift? These changes, what are the reasons for them? The government was aiming, that's the reason why. The reason for it, the government was aiming for sustainable growth, ensuring that there is no pressure on housing and public services like healthcare, education, and a whole number of other public services. Now, here is the big story. 2025 marked a steeper decline, as if we've not had enough in 2024. 2025 marked a steeper decline in the number of international students that were welcomed into the country. The international student population dropped to about 721,230. That is a 27% decrease from late 2023 figures. New student arrival in 2025 were down by roughly 60%. You can imagine. The number of people that were coming to the country in 2025 decreased by 20%, 60% compared to 2024. Now, and the study permit issuance continue to cap. They continue to cap the number of permits they issue out to students. Around 437,000 permits planned for the year. That's for the year 2025. You can imagine from about 721,000 to 437,000, which is a massive drop. Stuff like stricter visa application requirements, more stringent eligibility checks, and province level quotas all played a role. You can remember before now, uh, colleges usually welcome a lot of international students, but one of the cap is that it is now difficult for people to go to colleges. Why? Because if you are a married person, your partner cannot work while the other partner studies. So that is one of the reasons why colleges are no longer a study destination for international students. Aside from that, because people think, oh, if I can, as a man, my wife cannot work while I go to school. So what's the point? So many people now choose to go and do master's degree or otherwise in order to enable them come with their partner to the country. So that is one of the cap, the quotas or the policies that was put in place. And this drastically reduced the number of people who actually came into the country. In 2023, there was a record high. That is, many students were coming into the country. Then, when we entered into the 2024, there were a lot of policies. I could remember when I came in 2024 September. By October, there was a policy that if anybody wants to apply to postgraduate work permit, must sit the IELTS, that's the English proficiency test. So that is one of the policy that the government has put in place. In 2024. Now, into 2025, enrollment drops sharply. We have a little amount of number of people coming to study in Canada. Why? Because there are a number of policies that have restricted a number of people from applying to study in the country. So let's break this down into real implication for you. Prospective students, as an individual, the first thing I'm going to talk about is competition is changing. With fewer number or fewer new permits available, admission could become more competitive, especially for programs in high demand provinces. So this is one of the things that you need to take into consideration, because now that we have fewer number of permits, there is now a high level of competition, most especially if you are going to study an in-demand program or course. It is very, very competitive now. And aside from that, due to the fact that you need the provincial attestation letter, that is the PA. So this is another reason why it is very, very competitive. If you are unable to get a PA, there is no point applying for a study permit, because you will not be eligible. So PA is one of the big requirements when it comes to study permit application. Number one, that is number one. Number two, plan your timeline carefully. I've come to realize the fact that doing a study permit or application for Canada is not something that you can easily hijack, or you say, oh, maybe in few months to the time I'm going to start the application. So if you are applying in 2026 or later, understand that the caps are part of a multi-year plan. It is not something that you plan or you take with levity. At least you give yourself 1 year timeline for you to be able to do your application. You give yourself 1 year timeline, and that is very, very important for you when you are trying to do your application to Canada. This is going to help you to be able to plan. It will allow you to expect lower slower permit processing, possible provincial attestation requirement, and tighter documentation check. So this will allow you to be able to plan for all this ahead of time, and uh, you are able to put everything that you need in place before the time is closed. Then you also want to consider what we call a backup plan. Yeah, it is also very important. It is not only Canada that you can, go to study. Look for alternative countries like the UK, if possible, any other European countries. Aside from that, I've seen that many people, target going to Ontario. Ontario is now very, very, is saturated with international students. It is very important that you consider that provinces like Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Alberta, or Manitoba. It is very important to look at. And aside from that, Ontario is very expensive to live in. So if you want to go to a province that is a bit cheaper for you to be able to access. That is number three. And number four, focus on quality and eligibility. Make sure your acceptance letter, your finances, that's your proof of fund, and the program of choice strongly it strongly aligns with your vision, strongly available for you to make reference to. Most especially your proof of fund is very important, that you have enough fund that is able to take care of your tuition fee, able to take care of your living expenses and other miscellaneous fee. So this will allow you to be able to have a higher hope or higher chances of being considered, because majority of the people are being rejected based on uh, poor proof of fund and all that. So it is very important that you make sure that your finances and the program choice are very, very strong, before you submit your application. Then what are some of the tips I'm going to be giving to you if you are aiming to apply? So apply to study in Canada, you need to start early. Apply early. This will allow you to have enough time to put your documents together, to submit your permit application and all that. Then also target DLI, that's Designated Learning Institutes. These are schools or universities that are permitted to recruit students from outside the country. If you choose a non-DLI institution, this is going to be detrimental. It is not going to work for you as an international student. So this will help you a lot in a number of ways. Then secure strong financial proof. Like I said earlier, you need your proof of fund to be intact, quality proof of fund with adequate documentation to support or to back your proof of fund. It is very important. And the next one I'm going to talk about is you need to understand what we call the provincial attestation letters. This is the letter that is given to you by the province through your school that yes, you are allowed or you are needed in that province, that you are welcome to come and study in that province. So it is very important that you have this in place. If not, you cannot proceed to apply for your study permit. And finally, you need to navigate with clarity. Navigate with clarity. This is just the bottom line. You need to have a mindset of, oh, this is what I want to go and do in Canada. And once I'm done with my study, I want to go back home to Nigeria or to Ghana or to wherever I come from to go and start a business or to go and get a higher or high paying job that will be able to be a kind of return on investment. So here is the bottom line. Canada still offers top tier education. There is no doubt. There is no doubt. You can go and ask from people who have been studying in Canada. They will tell you that the education they receive here in Canada is top notch, and the opportunity to study in a serene environment with state of the art facility, it is something that you cannot take away. So what was once runaway growth in international students is now careful calibration. You have to carefully calibrate your move and everything. So now you've got the data, you've got the trends, and you've got strategy. So whether you are applying now or in 2026 or after, make your choice with clarity. Stay flexible and also stay informed. Ensure that you are informed or you get information from reliable sources so that you'll be able to stay on top of your game. It is very important to have adequate information because policies change every now and then, and you don't want to do or follow an obsolete policy. It is very, very important. If you are planning to go to Canada to study or to do whatever, you need to read a lot. I'm going to put in some of the links to get this data, this information that I've just shared. I'm going to put the sources in the description section of this video, so you can go there. You see the figures yourself, and you can make an informed decision. I'm wishing you all the best, and I wish you well in your study journey. Please do well to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and drop any topic you want me to come and talk about in my next video. Therefore, I'm signing out now and see you in the next one.